Did you know that you've got the right to complain against any radio or television broadcast? Did you also know that every radio or television station has an obligation to respond and address your complaints when aggrieved? The first step is to complain to the station not more than 3 months after the broadcast took place. It is expected that the station will respond reasonably to you, that is within 14 days. If not satisfied, then escalate your problem to the Independent Broadcasting Authority.
We're at Mass Media Complex, Ali King Carter Road, PO Box 32475, Lusaka, or call us on +260 211 250589 or visit our website at www.iba.org.zm. IBA, promoting ethical and professional broadcasting.
It's a beautiful day on Hope Channel, Zambia. Thank you so much for joining us on our main news bulletin. My name is Mwene Myanga and Sharon Akufuna is our sign language caster. Here are stories making headlines. Maternal deaths reduce in Lopo after receiving CDF health facility. United Arab Emirates honors Nzovu for climate leadership while at Ministry of Green Economy. NGOCC welcomes no bail on sexual offenses. CPRA welcomes proposed benefits for former vice presidents. Much more stories are coming up shortly. Stay tuned.
Did you know that you've got the right to complain against any radio or television broadcast? Did you also know that every radio or television station has an obligation to respond and address your complaints when aggrieved? The first step is to complain to the station not more than 3 months after the broadcast took place. It is expected that the station will respond reasonably to you, that is within 14 days. If not satisfied, then escalate your problem to the Independent Broadcasting Authority.
We're at Mass Media Complex, Ali King Carter Road, PO Box 32475, Lusaka, or call us on +260 211 250589 or visit our website at www.iba.org.zm. IBA, promoting ethical and professional broadcasting.
Let's get the details. A constituency development fund supported health facility in Lopo area of Chipata has recorded a major breakthrough with maternal deaths, still deaths, and neonatal fertilities reportedly almost eliminated following the construction of Lopo Clinic. The development has been attributed to improved access to maternal health services, which previously required residents to travel long distances to Katandala and Mwami. Residents have expressed gratitude to President Hakainde Hichilema and Lwangeni Member of Parliament Moses Moyo for facilitating the project, which began as a community-driven initiative before being completed under CDF. Community leaders, including Headman Azele Jere, said the facility now serves several surrounding villages and has significantly eased pressure on nearby clinics. However, residents have appealed for additional support, including the construction of staff housing, electrification and replacement of a stolen water pump, warning that these challenges continue to affect service delivery despite the clinic's life-saving impact.
Zovutika kwa kumwami utali pesa kuti muntu wamwalira mjira mwanda wochera kwa kuchipatikana na transport mazovutika ambapo pale transport walo usiku akuza hapa wathandizika muntu
aliyese muntu munga kudera kuno nokondwera ndamunga aba mavumo wochitira pamene apa antineto aba manda 5 bana wochitira pamene apa vinyinji tiatuchitira pamene apa enzetikira chani chikatatika chani pampu yako kocho samanzi penze boho apa kuleta mtanki akawalala etivira so manzi titafika pamutu yoleta kuno kuti tithandizike kuno kuchipatala na toilet yayo kusewezesha lini zumveka chaipa kaisizi ngakhale bwino kuti batiletera lomba abantu bala akawalala bativira so apa otivutisha kali tuchitota pa manzi kuti tilete kuno kuchipatala
auna rubomoyo pamene namba kampeni inoona kuti chidandaula za kliniki anazipereka ndrama zao za mtumba ngoyamba kugula mabroko ife tinaikapo tunathandiza miyala na sandi tiwo anagula mabroko samenti nolipira leba paka kufika mu roof level pamene chinayimirira so pamene anawina MP anapitiriza na CDF mpaka kusiriza mene mwionera hapa
panthawi pepenzo pe kliniki tenzovutika tezoenda mtunda utali kwenda ukatandala so pewela kliniki nifokondwela ngako.
Water Development and Sanitation Minister Engineer Collins Nzovu has expressed gratitude after accepting the prestigious first-class Order of Zayed II, an honor conferred by Sheikh Muhammad II, i.e. Nahman, in recognition of his contributions to global climate action during his tenure as Minister of Green Economy and Environment. Speaking following the recognition, Mr. Nzovu described the award as humbling, noting that it reflects Zambia's growing leadership in international climate negotiations, particularly its role in advancing the establishment of the Loss and Damage Fund at the COP28. He said Zambia, through its leadership in the African Group of Negotiators, played a key role in pushing for climate financing mechanisms aimed at supporting vulnerable countries affected by climate change.
Prestigious first-class order of Zayed II by His Highness Sheikh Mohammed Nayan, President of the United Arab Emirates, in recognition of our contributions and dedicated efforts towards the success of the 28th Conference of the Parties to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, simply known as COP28, during our tenure at the Ministry of Green Economy and Environment. One of the major contributions we made to the global climate agenda was to push for the establishment of the fund leading to loss and damage. You will recall that in 2021, I was appointed as Minister of Green Economy and Environment by President Hakainde Hichilema, and I attended my first COP, which was COP26 in Glasgow, where I was elected as the chair of the African Group of Negotiators at ministerial level, as well as President Hakainde Hichilema at head of state level. I hit the ground running, pushing for the establishment of the fund, responding to loss and damage. However, we did not make much progress at COP26, save for the COP26 Glasgow Climate Pact, which established a 3-year dialogue to discuss financing activities to establish the fund, signaling increased attention. The host government pledged £1 million as seed funding to address loss and damage. In November 2022, at COP27 in Egypt, as chair of the African Group of Negotiators, I rallied my minister colleagues from across the continent to ensure that we get a decision on loss and damage. Indeed, by close of COP27, we made tremendous breakthrough. because parties agreed to establish a new loss and damage fund alongside a transitional committee to draft operational recommendations. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is in light of the above contributions we made to the global climate agenda that we've been awarded this recognition. This distinguished recognition is not only a personal honor, but a reflection of Zambia's growing leadership and constructive engagement in global climate action. Guided by President Hakainde Hichilema, Zambia's participation at COP28 in Dubai was firmly anchored on advancing key national priorities, including securing climate financing, promoting green growth, and attracting investment in critical sectors such as renewable energy, agriculture, and water development.
On the 26th of March 2026, Hope News aired a story where it was alleged that over 70 households at Sungani village of Chief Ndake's area in Nyimba district of Eastern Province have been sharing water with livestock and wild animals for over 3 months since the collapsing of a borehole. And headman Sungani Linkson Mwanza said people in his village have been sharing water with livestock and wild animals for 3 months. Mr. Mwanza has explained that the only borehole at the village collapsed 3 months ago, and the community decided to dig an open pit, commonly known as mchera, in order for the people to survive. Meanwhile, Water Development and Sanitation Minister Engineer Collins Nzovu has acknowledged having received such a report in his office and has said that 2 boreholes are being drilled in Sungano to alleviate the water challenge in the area. Engineer Nzovu says the ministry will ensure that Sungani village has a reliable source of water that will provide safe and clean water. The minister has disclosed that the project will take close to 30 days to complete the works. The project will cost 200 million kwacha for drilling and installing.
Manzi yamwaona atukumwa kuno niyakumwa niyosamba niyowashira mozi na mozi amnandi atukumwa kadi boho idirika wasogolera chatinga pempeko kuti ainathandizwa ngatithandizeko kuti bole lako boho yabwino titikomwa ko manzi ya clean solo mmala mungasireri munga manzi mwa kuonekera tete kulwala bana mmala na sete makolo kulwala diarrhea kamba kamanzi onekera tiliye chlorine yo ikapa manzi so manzi atikumwa na do
manzi tankhala nthawi itali tuvutika nyepe chiganiza maganizo a mfumu aucha abantu mumunzi tiye ndikakumbe njera tomwa ko manzi komalomba njera wamene uyo mkhumba mbuzi ng'ombe tumwera pamozi tikumwa manzi adoti so pano diarrhea chimozimozi mwakambira mfumu nichendi tengo tiyambe lyala kumwa manzi apa mchera na diarrhea yayamba muonapo tiyayo mutipaseko boho ya nyawani mulungu kuti alovere mulimwe mutipaseko boho ya nyawani chifukwa tawizi yakine tingafune kuti ameneyi koma tuona ngati kapena mavuto ankhala mozi na mozi tupemphako kuti mutithandizireko boho ya nyawani.
Ndipo nochitira umboni community yapano pamunzi pasungani kuti paliye manzi uyonchera kwamene kuti kumwa mbuzi ng'ombe na vuyera ni vinyinji vufuma ku madera osiyana-siyana tikungomwera pamo.
Okay, I think we got a story from yourselves first, and we confirmed this story with the Member of Parliament there, as well as Eastern Water Supply and Sewerage Company. Yes, indeed, I want to confirm that this is the situation. However, this situation has been brought about by the drying up of the aquifers there, leading to drying up of the borehole which they were dependent on. We have since funded Eastern Water and Sewerage as a ministry to drill 2 boreholes for that community and obviously equip this borehole with a hand pump. Right now, as we're speaking, I think the procurement process is already in place. We've also asked Eastern Water and Sewerage to supply that village from some water tanks in the period when we'll be drilling these 2 boreholes. It's unfortunate that our people were subjected to drinking untreated water, or not very safe water, but we've taken care of the situation, and this will be the thing of the past. We're expecting the works to start in the next 3 weeks, and obviously within a month of their starting, these works should be completed. We're just drilling and equipping of the 2 boreholes.
Chief Ndake of the Nsenga-speaking people of Nyimba district in Eastern Province has commended the new Dawn government under the leadership of President Hakainde Hichilema for deciding to reconstruct Kalambakua Dam. Speaking in an interview with Hope News at his Luezi Palace, Chief Ndake expressed happiness with the development, describing it as a step in the right direction. The traditional leader says the construction of dams in his chiefdom has been one of his cries to the government, adding that he is delighted to see that the government has responded to his cry. His Royal Highness Chief Ndake has explained that the rehabilitation of the Kalambakua Dam in Ngozi Ward will save the lives of over 3,000 livestock. Meanwhile, the traditional leader has called on the government to consider the rehabilitation of the other 3 dams in his chiefdom. He has mentioned the other 3 dams as Udzu, Malipa and Chikuyu, which was washed away in 2021. He has further called on the general public surrounding Kalambakua dams to own the project by taking care of the dam.
We have just received a contractor who is on site constructing a dam. This is Kalambakua Dam. I have been to the site, I've talked to the contractor, and from the look of things, it would appear this is a very serious contractor, and technically it would appear he's going to give us a good job. He's going to do a good job, and he's going to give us a good dam. I would like to sincerely thank government for what they have done to consider us this time around with the construction of this dam, Kalambakua Dam. These dams were washed out away, I think, in 2021 or 2022. There was Uzu Dam, then Kalambakua Dam, partially Chikuyu Dam. At least we have received 1 dam, and this is a very critical dam because it caters for the entire Ngozi Ward population. I think of over 300,000 animals. Yeah, so this is a plus. My only appeal to government is at least to further consider for reconstruction of another dam, the Uzu Dam, because without Uzu Dam, again, this is a dam which caters 2 wards. There is Luezi Ward and Chiweza Ward. I earnestly appeal again to the President that he can further consider as to having this dam. I still earnestly appeal to the head of state, His Excellency Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, to consider us on the request of water. I message to the local, to our people within the catchment area of Kalambakua Dam, is that they should treat this project as theirs. They should own this project. This is an ongoing project. When the works are completed, we need to look after that dam. It's very, very important because previously we have seen people treading on the dam wall. So once they do that, it means very shortly the dam again will erode. There will be a lot of erosion because there will be overstepping on the dam wall.
Just now, we take a set of commercials. We'll be right back with more stories. Stay tuned.
Did you know that you've got the right to complain against any radio or television broadcast? Did you also know that every radio or television station has an obligation to respond and address your complaints when aggrieved? The first step is to complain to the station not more than 3 months after the broadcast took place. It is expected that the station will respond reasonably to you, that is within 14 days. If not satisfied, then escalate your problem to the Independent Broadcasting Authority.
We're at Mass Media Complex, Ali King Carter Road, PO Box 32475, Lusaka, or call us on +260 211 250589 or visit our website at www.iba.org.zm. IBA, promoting ethical and professional broadcasting.
Hello, my name is Mwene. In line with a reach 1 billion people with the gospel by 2030, Hope Channel Zambia is reaching out to you, yes you, for a donation in kind or financially in order to assist us to achieve this goal. Your donation will go a long way in not only reaching 1 billion people, but also building the kingdom of God. To make your donations, you can reach out to us through the numbers that are running on your screen, and all the details are there. May God bless you. Thank you for still staying with us. We continue with the rest of the news. The non-governmental organization Coordinating Council, NGOCC, has expressed happiness over the recent enactment of the Criminal Procedure Code Amendment Act No. 4 of 2026, which has rendered all sexual offenses such as defilement, rape, and incest non-bailable. NGOCC Executive Director Annie Anamela says this landmark legislative reform represents a decisive and progressive step in strengthening the country's legal framework to combat the escalating prevalence of sexual and gender-based violence, GBV. Ms. Anamela noted that the amendment sends a strong and unequivocal message that sexual offenses are grave crimes and human rights violations that warrant firm legal consequences. She explained that by removing the options of bail, the law significantly reduces the risk of accused persons interfering with investigations, tampering with evidence, intimidating or influencing witnesses, and contributing to the withdrawal of cases.
The Non-Governmental Gender Organizations Coordinating Council, NGOCC, welcomes the recent enactment of the Criminal Procedure Code Amendment Act No. 4 of 2026, which has rendered all sexual offenses such as defilement, rape, and incest non-bailable. This landmark legislation reform represents a decisive and progressive step in strengthening the country's legal framework to combat the escalating prevalence of sexual and gender-based violence. This enactment sends a strong and unequivocal message that sexual offenses are grave offenses and human rights violations that warrant firm legal consequences. By removing the option of bail, the law significantly reduces the risk of accused persons interfering with investigations, tampering with evidence, intimidating or influencing witnesses, and hence ultimately contributing to the withdrawal of cases. In doing so, the amendment enhances the prospects for effective prosecution and reinforces public confidence in the criminal justice system. NGOCC also notes that this development reflects long-standing advocacy efforts by civil society organizations, including the NGOCC network, which approximately a year ago mobilized to demand comprehensive legal and policy reforms to address GBV. Key to these demands was a call for sexual offenses to be made non-bailable. We therefore view the enactment of this law as a positive response to the voices of citizens and stakeholders committed to the protection of women and girls.
The Center for Peace Research and Advocacy, CPRA, has welcomed government's proposal to introduce pension benefits for former vice presidents, describing it as a progressive and long overdue. Speaking in an interview with Hope News in Lusaka, CPRA Executive Director Clifton Chifoe said the proposed law under Bill 5 of 2026 marks a significant step in recognizing the service of former national leaders. Mr. Chifoe noted that the bill expands benefits beyond former presidents to include former vice presidents and all individuals who held equivalent positions. He, however, called for greater clarity on key provisions, including funeral protocols and restrictions on international travel. Mr. Chifoe added that while his organization supports the proposal, it expects Parliament to address concerns raised as the bill progresses.
Our immediate reaction to this bill is that this is a very progressive bill, especially having a history on the late president's death and the debate that surrounded that particular law. And to see that the government has taken initiative to have it amended, I think this is very progressive, and as an organization, we want to commend the government for taking this initiative. Particularly of particular interest is that the bill has not only looked into the former president's benefits, but it has also brought on board the former vice presidents. And so that alone is a plus, that now the welfare of former vice presidents is going to be taken care of. However, some of the concerns that we have as an organization are to do with the lack of clarity in terms of the funeral handling. As you may recall that this brought a lot of debate when President Lungu passed on. And so we were hoping as an organization that there will be clarity over this matter as to who will preside over the funeral, so that we don't get into the same debates over and over in an event we have the death of a former president. At the same time, we also would want to get more clarity on the restriction in terms of the travel of former vice presidents out of this country. I think in the current bill, it is only restricting them to 2 travels out of the country. So we want to understand what are the restrictions behind. Is it for security concerns or budgetary issues to do with the government expending when they are traveling out? So we would really need clarity on those areas. But overall, this is a very progressive law, and we hope that parliamentarians are going to do justice and ensure that it is passed into law. How we pray that it can be passed into law before Parliament dissolves in May.
Smart Zambia Institute National Coordinator Percy Chinyama has described the World Internet Conference as a game changer that Zambia needs to learn from. Mr. Chinyama said the first critical lesson is the need for standardization in order to achieve interoperability across digital systems in the country. He explained that interoperability is essential for ensuring that the aspect of digital inclusion is properly addressed. Mr. Chinyama said this following the conclusion of the official opening ceremony of the World Internet Conference Asia Pacific Summit in Hong Kong.
It's been a good opening ceremony. We had very good speeches from, of course, the Premier of Hong Kong. And for me, there are 3 things that we can take home. Number 1, For a country like ours, it's important that we standardize so that we ensure that there is interoperability. That is an aspect that will help us who are very eager to ensure that the inclusion aspect is taken care of. We need to include those who do not have access. And the only way we can do that is we ensure that our systems are interoperable with existing systems, or even for those that are not existing. Number two, the use of digital public infrastructure. It is very clear that everybody, especially us who are in the third world, need to go open source and adopt open standards so that we are able to ensure that there is another aspect of inclusion is taken care of. When we use open standards, when we use open source, it is affordable, sustainability is not an issue. It avoids us being vendor locked. So we need to run away from being vendor locked and ensure that we're able to operate at optimal levels. The third one that was very clear is that we need to build trust with our systems. It's important that we bring in the issue of security. For our country, it is it's something that we all know about. We have just set up our cybersecurity agency. Very important to ensure that our data is secure, our infrastructure is secure, and everything that we invest in that has to do with digitization is kept secure.
We end there for today, but before we go, we look at our headlines. Maternal deaths reduce in Lopo after receiving CDF health facility. United Arab Emirates honors Nzovu for climate leadership while at the Ministry of Green Economy. NGOCC welcomes no bail on sexual offenses. CPRA welcomes proposed benefits for former vice presidents. My name is Mwene Mianga. Sharon Akufuna is our sign language caster. Bye for now.